I need new music.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Discover New Music. Very excited for my guest today. First time here on Discover New Music, but I have a feeling it won't be the last. The lovely and very talented Royale Lynn. Royale, how are you?
Hi, I'm so good. Thank you so much for having me on.
Pleasure is all mine. It's finally good to get some actual looks on this show instead of just talent. But I know I'm really excited because a lot of people buzzing about Royale Lynn, and I know there's been a lot of hard work on your side of things getting to this point. Brand new album, debut album, Black Magic, drops the 27th. Debut album, and immediately what stood out to me when I was doing my research on this is it is a concept album. And for those of people that don't know, concept album is an album that follows a theme. Think of like The Who's Tommy, all right, where it follows Tommy, the pinball wizard, and so it follows one general theme, and that can provide a whole new set of challenges to an already pretty daunting task, which is making an album. So tell us about the theme and tell us why you decided to go that route of concept album.
So I knew for my debut record, I had to kind of come out of the gate swinging and really show people who I am. And, you know, I'm a metalhead that grew up in a very small town. And I really love talking about mental health because, like, I struggle with my mental health. And it's, for me to be totally honest, I had to share and be so vulnerable on this record. So I actually made this record into a concept record because I was like, it would be so cool if the theme of the whole record was Pandora's box, and all of the evils that escape Pandora's box are actually songs within the record. And so it started there, and then it started to get so much bigger than that. And and that's why the album is called Black Magic, because we wrote, you know, songs on the record that you guys will see very shortly, because it's almost here, it's almost out. And we were able to write so much more than just what was released in the original Pandora's myth of Greek mythology. So it's really cool to be able to stem from one place. And it was really cool to me because the only thing left in Pandora's box was hope. And I was like, if we sing about mental health and all of these struggles, and if it gives people out there hope, then the theme kind of comes full circle to me. So that's kind of where it started. And there's so many cool songs. I'm excited for everyone to hear it.
I can imagine. And it's really cool to see that work together in that concept album. I know when you find that theme, it's almost exciting because you know there's so much stuff you can pick from on that journey, and it makes it easy to have that set. Not that you can't do it any other way. You can have, you know, a typical AC/DC album, and, you know, it's all over the place. But I really appreciate too, and if you don't mind, kind of touching on the mental health aspect of it, which has been such a hot topic. Really since the pandemic and people struggling with that and you know, sharing their journeys. How was it for you as an artist? Was it nerve-wracking? Was it cathartic? Was it exciting to break that down, your own struggles, and put that out there for everyone?
I think that for me, it's so healing to write about it. And to have a heavy riff behind it is even cooler to me because I'm such like a metalhead, and you know, I love the rock community. So for me, putting down like my vulnerabilities onto paper and putting it out for the world to like put me under a microscope, like it's really healing for me. And if it heals someone else out there the way that music growing up healed me, I've done it. That's, you know, my only purpose in life is to show people that they're not alone if they struggle with their mental health. And it can sound cool to talk about mental health in music. And my favorite bands were brutally honest. They were like, can't wait to get out of our small towns and like go do our thing. And like,
right.
And like having those influences and making it out of the small town and being here, it's so surreal. And to talk about something what I think is so important and not talked about enough is important to me as an artist and as an individual myself too. So
Well, I commend you for that. I think it's brave, and I don't know if you want to use that term because you're not doing it to be a martyr. You're not doing it to, say, look at me. Other than in the fact of showing people that there's plenty more people out there going through the same thing or similar things, and I think that's great to use that platform. And also, I think you'll agree with me on this. The rock, the metal, that our world is the best at doing that. I love country music. I'll throw on a Chingy record from time to time, but I don't think anybody does that emotional kind of mining like the rock world at all.
Yes, I think it's real and it's honest and it's vulnerable. And I think that like if we know that our favorite bands are open to talking about hard things, then it might make it easier to talk about at home.
Right. Right. Well, we're excited to hear more. Again, we are going to. Black Magic drops on the 27th. Looking at this record, I see that you got to work with Danny Warsnop on the track Death Wish. Tell us, how did you get hooked up with Danny? And also, too, as you're starting this musical journey or this next big first step, having someone of his musical caliber on that track, helping you get to the level that you wanted to be for that song.
Working with him was an absolute dream. I still can't believe that he wanted to be on the track. Yeah. I was so grateful, and it was before anything had happened yet. Like we had like our 6 Feet was kind of doing its thing, and it was the next kind of departure from 6 Feet and kind of leaving the country world behind. And it was like a kind of like a new chapter in my journey. And I was like, this song wasn't a duet, but I was like, there's one voice that I would love to hear on this song. And if it was at all possible, I was like, this is like the one person I would only do this for him.
Right.
And I asked him and he was like, absolutely. And I was like, what is happening? And it was so cool. And I just like, I adore working with him and how much attention to detail he has and how much he cares too. Like, it's just so awesome to be able to work with someone that I've like looked up to and then go on tour with them. It's so crazy to be able to tour with like your favorite people. It's amazing. And we got to sing it every night. And that was so special. I was like, this is so amazing. But working with him was 10 out of 10. I loved every second of it.
I love it. Yeah. Danny has made such a stamp in the rock world. And it's cool to see him out there sharing his talents with the artist and especially someone up and coming. And you did mention your country roots, and I know we could go into that. I know you're a rock girl at heart. Was there any hesitation, maybe some nervousness in making that transition? And I think the country and rock world can blend very well, and rock and rap blend very well, but making that transition into the rock world full steam ahead, tell us about that.
I think for me, it was creating the style that is going to be on this record, and what you've kind of already heard leading up to the record is the most honest and real that I have ever been in with my music. And to me, that's why I knew that I was making the right decision, is that I have never felt more 100% myself than I am right now creating this kind of music. I have never felt more fulfilled. And every night when I get on stage, I'm excited to be there, and I'm excited to see like people singing the songs back. And for me, it was kind of inevitable. Like, I feel like we were always headed in this direction. It was just more so like, how do you come from a small town that has one stoplight to getting into the rock world and getting to that moment? So there's a lot of stepping stones, and I'm so grateful for each point in my path, because I truly think it shaped who I am as a human being, but also as an artist, and what I wanted to say when I did get my voice to say something, and that is mental health, which is awesome. And it's just been a really cool journey. And I think I had to make those. I mean, I've been doing music for 20 years now, but like to come to Nashville 10 years ago and move here and like fully submerge myself and be like, are there any other like metalheads around here? Like I wanted to create something that's a little different than what everyone else is doing. And to find the community who is also excited about hard rock and the metal scene and where it's going, it's super cool. And just to have the support from other writers and artists in the community has been amazing.
I'm excited for you, dear. And speaking of community down there in Nashville, where you're at, Jonathan Roach produced this record, and he has got, he's really come up and has had a lot of success and is continuing to grow. But you look at his background, he's got country. He's got pop, and obviously you in the rock metal world. Talk about that working relationship and how important that was to the sound of the record.
So Jonathan and I have done everything together for years and years and years. So when I was making kind of the transition into like, what's our sound and how far can we go? And he was in a lot of the writing sessions too, like just trying to figure out our sound and how to be honest and show people like my soul by listening to a record. And that's what I really want is like, you kind of go through a journey in my mind, which is crazy, which is awesome. But it's really cool that I had a partner who was so excited also for what the sound was going to be and how to get there. And he's like a brother to me. And I honestly couldn't have done this without him. It truly, like we were sitting in his studio for 2 months, like looking at each other and being like, is this too much? Or is this not enough? Or like, it's really cool to work with like-minded people who also see the vision. And he saw the vision from the start. When we had our Billboard #1, he called me and he was like, Royal, how did we get here? I was like, dude, I have no idea. But like and our lives changed right after that day. Our lives were completely different and it was amazing. But I couldn't imagine making this record with anyone else. He is such a brother. I just had coffee with him the other day.
I love it. Yeah, surrounding yourself with the right people makes all the difference in the world, and it seems like you got that in spades on this record. I'm going to say something here, and people are going to think I'm having a stroke, but I know you can explain it.
Okay.
Cat meows.
Yes, Ted. He's around here somewhere. I'm surprised he's not meowing right now. Yes, we have a little star in the fam.
He's a huge ass cat, Royal.
Careful, he'll hear you. That's so funny. Yes, I think he's 20 pounds now, but we like to say 18 to, we're not trying to offend anyone around here. He is a 20-pound Maine Coon cat. He is my pride and joy. I love him so much. And you know what? He's actually like a service animal for my anxiety. So he actually plays a big part in like my everyday life. And helps me out a lot. So if you have a service animal out there, just know that I also have a service animal that's 18 pounds. And he made a record. He's on the record. I followed him around with my voice memo app. And this was Jonathan's idea, actually. And Jonathan was like, we should like put him in here somehow. And I was like, can we do that? Is that a thing? He was like, we can do anything.
Right, exactly.
So I followed him around for days, and he's very vocal. Not Jonathan. Well, Jonathan talks too, but like Ted is very vocal. And I was able to get like a few cute little meows that we made into like really cool parts within the songs. So he's on Evil. I can't believe it. I hope I'm the only person to ever put their cat on a record.
You have to be. But maybe it'll start a new thing. Maybe it'll start a whole new trend, right?
Maybe. I'm like, the world's like your oyster, and that's what's so cool about creation. And like, Jonathan was like, all right, I put him in, and I think he's in Witch and Evil, and there's another one, When We Die, maybe. But it's really cool that he was able to be on the record and he'll be credited. And like, that was such a cool thing for me, because he's such a part of everyday life. And I go back to this album being like the most honest and real I've ever been within music. And that's why I'm so proud of the project.
I love it, as you should be. And also, what's more metal than a 20-pound cat that looks like it's straight out of the forest and, could take down most medium-sized humans is what it sounds like. So, yeah.
I think I might make merch.
I love it. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. I love it. So listen for the meows on the record when it drops, Black Magic, on June 27th. Last question here, and this has been a lot of fun, and I'm really excited for it. I'm excited to see what happens. And I asked this version of this question to pretty much everyone, because in the record making process, especially, bands that are on their 10th record, their 15th record, or their 5th, I know there's similar things that happen in the process, but also every record is different from start to finish. So I usually ask what stood out in the making of this record compared to previous ones. But for you, I want to ask, because this is your debut metal album or your debut rock album into this, what is going to stick with you from this record? If you could pick maybe a moment or a time, what's going to stick with you in making of Black Magic?
I think what I would love to leave with everybody, like kind of the message of this record, is that mental health can be talked about in a way that's cool. And I also think that we've kind of have this hybrid thing, and it's kind of different than anyone else, like female or male. And I think that we pulled from so many different influences that we have sounds that we're like, holy cow, I've never heard something like this. And that's what's interesting to me, is that we were able to bring in all of our influences and write these songs and put a bow on it. And that's what's really cool for me as a creator, is that we were able to do a concept record that talks all about mental health. We were able to add sounds of like, I can't wait. I can't say too much, but there's a really cool song on there. And I got to scream for the first time on a song, and that was super fun for me. And I think that if people are willing to, kind of see that where we came from and why we're here and why we do this, I would just love for everyone to come to a live show and see us do it and feel the energy and feel the love in the room, and just how it's okay to struggle with your mental health, and it's cool to sing about it as well. So.
I love it. Well, hey, you're a gem, and this was a lot of fun talking new music. Again, it's going to drop on the 27th. It's called Black Magic. It's Royale Lynn. Go get it now that the important stuff is out of the way. We got that. Let's horse around a little bit and do rapid fire. I do this with everybody. There's no wrong answers. Cool. You just go with your gut, and we'll learn a little bit more about you. Let's start simple. Sneakers or sandals?
Ooh, sneakers.
Billy Ocean or Billy Idol?
Oh my God. Billy Idol.
That's all right. He's still going. He's still going strong. Another name one for you. David Bowie or David Lee Roth?
Ooh, David Bowie.
Choco Taco or Flintstone Push Pop, which you might be too young to remember. Did you ever have those growing up? Yeah. Okay, yes. Good.
Yes. Flintstone.
The Push Pop.
Yes.
Yeah, be careful though. It's going to change your poop difference colors if you have too many of them. I always remember that after a long pool day, you're like, oh, am I dying? No, it's just Flintstone Push Pops. New England clam chowder or a creamy tomato bisque?
Ooh, tomato bisque. I don't eat seafood.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
throw
there
that
you
one
go.
out of the trash.
Fun fact.
Would you rather see Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster?
Oh my God, that's so hard, but I love this question. I feel like I want to see the Loch Ness Monster, but I also want to see Bigfoot. So, okay, Loch Ness Monster.
Loch Ness Monster. Okay, now I may help you change your answer. Do you know what they think at this point, what the Loch Ness Monster is?
No.
So, scientists have put their collective heads together, and you know the classic photo of Nessie, that black and white photo, kind of the outline.
Yes.
So whales do this thing, male whales. They will breach the water with their penises, and their penises kind of do this. And what does that look like?
No way.
So they think that famous photo quite possibly could just be a perverted whale flashing.
Oh my God.
And now he got the world's most famous dick pic ever.
That is so funny.
So maybe
Bigfoot.
Maybe Bigfoot.
Oh my gosh. You learn something new every day.
See, I believe me, when I saw it rock my world, I'm like, what? This is crazy. So
we're like, no way.
No. They were at. That's where we're at. We're at a perverted whale with a thin little mustache.
Yes.
And rose-colored glasses, just perving everyone out. Thank you for humoring me. More importantly, Royal, thank you for talking new music. We're so excited for you. I expect big things from you. Black Magic drops the 27th, and can't wait to hear more.
Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. And I can't wait. We'll have to meet up at a show and soon and make sure that you come out and see us play. And
you got it. You got it. Everyone else, I'll bring my friends. I'll bring all the listeners. We'll go.
Bring everyone. But yeah, no, I appreciate you having me on.
Of course.
Listen, rate, share, subscribe. Discover new music now at WJJO.com. in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Brock has a new interview every Thursday evening between 6 and 7. 94.1 JJO.